The answer is not very easy. We have a long story of interaction and communication, at least 100 years, and we all the times are trying to discuss the idea about the image of the Balkans in Europe, Western Europe, and so on. Even there are a lot of exercises have been made. The things are changes with the accession of some countries in the European Union, Bulgaria, Romania, Croatia, Slovenia. The things are changing, but now I think it's a good moment to make another effort, because this is a process. We can say that all the time we need an interaction, we need this kind of communication. I think culture is one of the best channels to convey this new message and this new type of communication and information of what really the Balkan is.
It's a question which concerns many areas, and my strong belief is that it has to be rebranded, repositioned, not only in Europe but also internationally. Because people outside of the region who have not been here and they don't have contacts really know very little about the very rich cultural heritage, contemporary art projects, cultural professionals, spaces where they can learn about the history, but also they can see a lot of innovative projects. So one of the things is that we need to work collectively, cooperatively, to change the image and to break the stereotypes about the region.
Mislim da organizacije u kulturi Zapadnog Balkana moraju da budu mnogo proaktivnije, ne samo više da prihvataju pozive zapadnih organizacija na učešće u projektima koje je Zapad konceptualizovao i razvio, već da kroz sopstvene mreže i kroz sopstvene profesionalne organizacije stvorimo svoje ideje, svoje koncepte, svoje projekte i da te projekte, da sa njima izađemo u Evropu i da predstavimo koliko sopstveno nasleđe, toliko pre svega savremena umetnost, naše ideje i teorijske i kulturološke koje razvijamo, čini mi se vrlo uspešno, ali nekako one ne izlaze izvan naših granica. Govorim recimo o nekim poznatim primerima poput Nomad Dance Academy, znači u domenu savremenog plesa. Mi smo uspeli da stvorimo jednu asocijaciju koja pokriva široko područje od Slovenije do Bugarske, gde se stvara znanje i gde se produkuju od knjiga do plesnih predstava koje čine jedan značajan iskorak u sferi savremenog stvaralaštva, koje su neobične, recimo, u odnosu na evropsku produkciju po tome što postavljaju brojna politička pitanja, pitanja vezana za savremeno uređenje, kapitalizam, za radne odnose u domenu umetnosti, umetnička radna prava. To retko koja umetnička dela danas u zapadnoj Evropi postavljaju, jer su prosto radna prava umetnika toliko dobro regulisana zapadnoevropskim zakonodavstvima da umetnici nisu toliko ni stimulisani da se njima bave.
I think the Western Balkans are very close to Europe. They belong to the same space, basically. We share the same memories, we share culture, we share food, we share a lot of things, and so they belong to this larger space that is Europe. And this new strategy of the EU will help us grow even more together. And so I hope there'll be a lot of projects. I come from a cultural background, so I hope there will be a lot of joint projects that bring this larger region closer together.
The Western Balkans are Europe. The Western Balkans belong to Europe, and they should be given the opportunity to join the European Union because that's where they belong. What we should, the Commission has published last February a strategy with very detailed explanation about how we want to support the process. And in April has also issued the recommendations on open negotiations with 2 more countries in addition to the 2 that are already negotiating. So we're already negotiating with Montenegro and with Serbia. And the Commission has recommended opening negotiations with Albania and the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. So the process is ongoing. What we should do in the meantime, what the Commission wants to do, it's to do much more in the cultural sector and use it to support the Western Balkans in also changing their image in the eyes of European citizens. We want to support the region to give an image of cultural diversity, of cultural dynamism, of richness, of history and culture that go back centuries.
Inače, teme koje bi mi mogli da postavimo Evropi jesu vezane takođe i za odnos prema nasleđu, mogu da budu vezane i za odnos prema zajedničkom evropskom nasleđu, ali viđenom iz, da kažem, postkolonijalnog ugla. Mi nismo bili možda baš kolonijalizovani, iako faktički, kako kolega iz Bugarske Aleksandar Kjosep kaže, mi smo autokolonizirajuće nacije. Mi smo preuzeli koncepte Nemačke, pre svega Zapadne Evrope, i uneli ih u prostor obrazovanja u 19. veku, ali među vremenu ugradili i neke svoje drugačije puteve, ali oni su ostali potpuno skrajnuti i nevidljivi. Znači, čini mi se moramo učiniti vidljivim pre svega partnerstvima, zajedničkim, koprodukcionim i onda izlaskom u javni prostor Evrope, recimo sa svojom izložbom u Muzej evropske istorije. Kako izgleda evropska istorija viđena sa Balkana. Ne nužno baš samo zapadnog Balkana, Balkana u celini, jer dakle teško je i odvajati i izdvajati ono što je Bugarska, Grčka ili Turska. To se sve prepliče sa ovim našim sada imenovanim zapadno-balkanskim nasleđem.
Za nas kao Desk Creative Europe Serbia je veoma značajno da tokom godine realizujemo aktivnosti koje na širi način tretiraju program Kreativna Evropa, što znači, dakle, naša osnovna misija jeste da svakako podržimo i pomognemo na sve moguće načine organizacijama i ustanovama iz Republike Srbije da učestvuju u programu, što znači da obezbede ta raskošna finansijska sredstva, ali što mislimo da je podjednako važno i da obezbede partnerstva na evropskom nivou. Dakle, pored te osnovne misije za nas je veoma značajno da imamo drugu vrstu aktivnosti, kao što je forum Kreativna Evropa. Takođe, nedavno smo objavili publikaciju koju smo prezentovali na forumu Kreativna Evropa 2018. godine, jedno istraživanje o stanju regionalne saradnje. Dakle, objavili smo isto nedavno knjigu koja se na veoma ozbiljan način bavi kulturnom diplomatijom.
You know, cultural heritage and cultural overall speaking is actually a great tool to foster people-to-people contacts, to foster cooperation. And in this sense, we can invest a lot in our common cultural heritage to preserve the beauty of monuments, of our landscape, of our several forms of cultural expressions. Think about theater, think about music. And then on the other side, we have to invest on culture in terms of culture and creative industries, because that boosts our economy as well, our common economy. So in this sense, I think that Creative Europe as a program is a meaningful and effective tool to actually foster the cooperation between the EU and the Western Balkans when it comes to culture, because basically it invests in connectivity, in people-to-people contacts, in people-to-people exchanges, cooperation, and that's what we want in terms of really repositioning the Western Balkans in Europe.
Investment in the future generation, because I also strongly believe that this, as you call it, repositioning of cultural heritage should be connected with all those who are going to be the future managers and the future leaders in the cultural heritage area, including also those that are the Generation Z born in this century. that are going to be the future leaders. So they have to be the one to also work, again, very collaboratively to improve the image and to make it world well known.
And the message is very clear. Let's look about the diversity of our cultures, which we are experiencing in our region. This feeling of autonomy, this feeling of self-esteem and good creative energy, which can be seen here in our region, and this can be a very, very good message for the idea, European idea. We must say also, yesterday was mentioned the name of Dragan Klaić, which was grew here in Belgrade, and later on was one of the main person who has the advocacy for the Eastern Europe and for the Balkan region in Europe, who has the idea that Europe actually is a cultural project, and the creativity which our region can provide, it's a very, very good input in the European ideas as well. So I think this is one of the best channel to convey the message for the European identity of the region, because this is obviously it's part of the European cultural space.
The role of cultural heritage is a double-edged sword, meaning that it can be given different meanings. It can be used to divide, or it can be used to unite. In the eyes of, in my eyes, which are, and I think also the opinion of the Commission in general, is that of using it to unite, using our shared past to build together a shared future.
Nasleđe suštinski nas koliko spaja, toliko i razdvaja. I same nas na Zapadnom Balkanu mnoga pitanja vezana za istoriju, istorijsko sećanje, pa i kulturno nasleđe, recimo da li neki artefakt pripada bugarskom, makedonskom, debarska škola, rezbarska, na primjer, nasleđu grčkom, vizantijskom i tako dalje, veoma je sporno. U tom smislu sporno postavljeno već na samom Balkanu. A sa druge strane u potpunosti ignorisano od strane Zapadne Evrope, iako čak i humanizma i renesanse ne bi bilo da se ogroman broj intelektualaca nije iseljavao iz Vizantije pod pritiskom, dakle, dolaska Turaka, i da, dakle, samo njihovo prisustvo, ne toliko njihov know-how koji su doneli u Zapadnu Evropu, ali njihovo prisustvo u Italiji je podstaklo interesovanje za ono što se dešavalo nekada ranije u rimskom periodu, u antičkoj Grčkoj i tako dalje, te možemo reći da sve ono što danas čini tkivo ili što čini taj preplet evropskih kultura jeste u stvari zajedničko nasleđe u kome smo mi učestvovali.
Also often there are what we consider as cultural heritage. It can even be buildings or the way we build theaters, for example, and we cannot draw it back to one national or ethnic source. Often these things that have become part of our lives have different influences, come from different areas of the world, of Europe, and now they form something that belongs to us, and it's very similar wherever we're from. And so I think that draws us closer together.
You can see that one of the biggest European value is coming up from the issue of cultural heritage. The involvement of the civil society, the involvement of civil society organizations, and the citizens itself, which means that this is a process of democratization.
We share common values, common human values and common cultural values, but we all are very different, not only the countries from the Western Balkans, but also Europe as a whole. There are still borders, there is still a lot of problematic areas in all angles of life, from the daily life to the more political exchange. So I'm not over optimistic, but my rationality shows me that we're on the right path, and especially the last 6 months were very important in this development of a joint efforts between the region and European Union.
Meni se čini da je to jedan veliki zadatak, da sve ono što se dešava u svetu institucija kulturnog nasleđa i što je dobro, mora na neki način da izađe, da napravi iskorak do lokalnih zajednica, da se, evo recimo, dosta se u Savetu Evrope govori o stazama nematerijalne romske kulture. Ja mislim da čak ni romska zajednica u Srbiji za to ne zna, a nekmo li da smo mi u Srbiji napravili 5 ili 10 veoma značajnih punktova, pa napravili našu stazu romske nematerijalne kulture, koju ćemo onda priključiti evropskoj stazi. Ovako samo čekajući da neko znanje iz Evrope stigne i da eventualno malo ga plasiramo u našoj lokalnoj zajednici, jednostavno neće biti delatno, neće biti funkcionalno.
Također važno vezano za ovogodišnji forum i to što smo u saradnji sa profesionalcima iz oblasti kulture iz Srbije koji učestvuju u programu koji već uveliko sarađuju na evropskom nivou, izradili i ujedno i preporuke za smjernice regionalne saradnje. Znamo da je u planu jedna nova agenda koja će biti promovisana i u narodnom programu koji će početi u 2020. godine. I prosto smo želeli da u tom procesu osmišljavanja novog programa damo naš doprinos u tome.
My also final kind of advice to culture professionals is to read and try to understand these documents, because I know that it's pretty hard for many of us to understand the political language. But this framework is very important so that we can really, as I said in my talk, we can really use the window of opportunity, which is now, and we wouldn't lose the momentum to make sure that our ideas are heard and our ideas in the culture sector, including heritage and contemporary art, are really supported.
So on one side, we try to preserve our cultural heritage, our common cultural heritage, because a lot of times it's actually at risk because of wars, because of natural disasters, because of looting. So on one side we have to protect it, we have to preserve it. And then on the other side, we also have to invest on the huge potentiality that stands behind cultural heritage, because it boosts our economy, because it's a key for our social and economic development. And then we should not forget that 2018 is the European Year of Cultural Heritage, so basically it's also an occasion to celebrate together the shared common cultural heritage that we have. And the Western Balkans have been very active and are still very active in putting together events, in putting together initiatives that highlight the role of cultural heritage in our society.